Hello guys, I'm Barry.
Hey, I'm Nate.
It's Brian. Radio voice.
And welcome to the Collecti-Bros podcast. In this episode, we're going to go into unique video game collectibles, odd little things in relation to games, guides, not guides. I'm going to back up a little bit. We each have a little collection of items that we find very unique that may be hard to find, hard to track down, that have to do with video games that we are glad to own, and we wanted to share them with you. Before we get into that, we're going to go what we've been playing, what we've been collecting, and you get pickups. Nate, you want to start?
Sure. As far as playing, I think I've said it every episode up to this point, but I'm playing MLB
The Show.
Yeah, it's a grind. I've been playing Terra still. We're getting close to finishing that, thankfully, so I can move on with my life. As far as for fun, I haven't gotten too far into it, but I have started Elder Scrolls Redguard. It's exciting because I've been wanting to play that for years. One of the few Elder Scrolls games I haven't played, so experiencing that now that it's on Steam is pretty awesome. As far as pickups, I actually had one big exciting one, but I have 10 recent pickups. The highlight of it would be Phantasy Star Complete in Box for Master System. Finally scored a pretty good deal on one of those. It was probably the most desired game I wanted as far as hunting down stuff, so I was fortunate enough to get one for a good deal, and we slapped the manual in the press and cleaned it up, so it's a pretty nice copy. Very thankful for that. The other ones, it's just kind of filler stuff, like stuff I got for cheap. A couple PSP games, a couple 360 games, PS3, a little all over the board. Nothing as noteworthy as Phantasy Star. It's not super noteworthy, but I'm a gigantic Captain America fan, and I found a decent, cheap copy of Captain America Super Soldier on DS, so anytime I can add Captain America to my collection, I am happy. Brian, what have you been?
So you grabbed the NES box also, didn't you, recently?
That I did. I completely forgot about that.
What NES box?
For Captain America.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
I got it. I was talking about the DS one.
Oh.
I completely spaced, because I've had a pretty eventful pickups here lately. I did get a pretty clean box for the NES Captain America game, so on the hunt for a manual for that still, but I think with what I paid and unloading this cart, I can probably get a manual for pretty cheap at this point, so now I'll pass it off to Brian.
Yeah, I actually had a pretty nice lot score here of a bunch of boxed NES games. The standouts being Sky Shark Complete in the Box. I only paid $5 for it. The top of the box, it's torn, but I mean, it's still a cool one to get complete in the box. And then Mag Max was the other standout. Kind of a game that no one really talks about or knows of. It's just interesting. It's a pink box too, so it kind of stands out. There's a bunch of other like random crap in there, Wheel of Fortune, Bowling, Goal, Othello. Nothing crazy, but that same day I actually found a game I've been trying to track down for a while. It was Alien for the Atari 2600. It's usually retail around $20. And I can find enjoyment in Atari games, but it's still a hard pill to swallow to pay $20 for an Atari game. Alien, that's one I would if I found it, but thankfully it's only 99 cents at a local store, so that was a pretty sweet grab, and haven't got to play it yet, but definitely looking forward to doing so. And you already know the drill. You already know I got some Xbox filler. We're just going to gloss over that, though. As far as playing...
Always with the filler.
Oh, yeah, got to get that complete run, baby. But as far as playing, still playing Minecraft Dungeons, having a blast with that. I've been playing Evil Dead the game. I picked that up, really enjoying it. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those games that's going to, after X amount of hours, it's going to be like, all right, what else is there to do? It's kind of a grind. Wish I had some friends to play with it, but I'm enjoying it, man. Big Evil Dead fan, big horror fan. It's pretty fun, pretty enjoyable.
When you talk about your Xbox filler, on a scale of 1% to 100%, how close do you think you are to getting that library?
Depends, including variants and everything.
Let's not include variants. Let's not include them. How close do you think you are?
The heavy hitters, just thinking of that, this is going to take me a while to get, is I only really need Outrun Coast to Coast and Steel Battalion as far as big bangers are concerned. Maybe, what's the cartoon one? Futurama. Those three.
You need that Otogi still, right?
I need one of them. I don't remember if it's one or two.
I think you need two, because I have two right. And you have one. Yeah.
So those are the only expensive games I need left. But the filler stuff I'm picking up, honestly, It's like sports games with like the correct copyright sticker on it. That's like the pain in the ass for these things, right? Like you can find an NBA Live 07 all day, but is it going to have like the NBA sticker on it like it's supposed to? Those are the kind of things that like, a lot of these pawn shops and a lot of the local stores just throw them away. Like who cares? Who's going to buy this? But to find like a clean copy with the correct sticker on it, I pick that shit up when I see it.
So are we talking like 90%?
I don't think I'm that high.
80%?
About 70-ish.
How many Xbox games do you have? Because I'm about to hit 400, and so I feel like I'm close to 50%.
Yeah, I think I've probably got 5 or 6.
What's the library?
I want to say it's around 800 unique titles.
Mine'll tell me.
I believe it's around 816 if I'm being like...
I mean, that's the thing. I've got a lot of the Japanese games, too. So
This one says 1472.
Original Xbox.
Yes.
What?
My app has 1472 listed as unique titles.
We'll see.
I'm way off.
I've got 21, so I'm real close.
Yeah, you're right there. Damn, I didn't realize there's that many.
Never-ending grind, baby.
I don't know if that specifies other variants or whatever, or what exactly that specifies, but it does say over 1,000 for Xbox.
Barry, what have you been playing? What'd you pick up?
Playing, I have finally finished Trails in the Sky. That was 70% of that game is pushing the X button to get through dialogue, so it was the longest 40-hour game I've ever played. It was a slog, and I'm trying to hype myself up to play the next two because it's like a trilogy arc. And there was an interview with some people from the translation company, and they were like, "Yeah, the text of these 3 games combined is more than Lord of the Rings trilogy."
Whoa.
So there's and I like at first when I heard that I was like, "Nah, there's no way." And now after I played the first one, I'm like, "Oh my god, it has to be true." There's so much text, and a lot of it is just so unnecessarily like put in. Like for example, you go into a room and they're like, "Wow, there's a bed." Indeed. I just like that's not verbatim, but it's just dumb stuff like that. I'm like, was this really necessary? Can we just cut this out a little bit? But so to recover from that, I played Batman, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham City because I'd never played those. And then I was going to play Arkham Knight, but I didn't want to burn myself out because that one took a bit longer. I think I want to say it took me about 8 hours to play those a piece. Maybe. It wasn't very long. And so now I'm playing World of Final Fantasy, and I regret not playing that when it came out. It's very fun. I don't know if y'all know anything about it.
I have it. I haven't opened it.
Mine's sealed.
It is a Final Fantasy themed monster collecting game, and that's all you really need to know. Like, y'all sold me with Baby Behemoth. I was like, I need it. So I've been playing that. I don't know how long I'm into it. As far as picking up goes, I ended up, and this is both eBay purchases. I didn't find these locally. A lot of the things I want to buy at this point, I'm going to have to look for them. There's no way I'm going to stumble upon them. So I picked up Fire Emblem, Sacred Stones, Complete in Box. For what I felt like was a pretty good deal. Brian got a really good deal because I sold him my extra cartridge.
Yeah, I forgot to get it. I actually picked it up too.
And then I also finally was able to nab a Final Fantasy III box for it was a very nice condition box for $100. And originally it was on bids, or it was like, here, start the bid or buy it now. And I'm like, y'all joke if I'm not going to buy this right now, because I've seen what they go for, and a lot of them, there was some in worse condition. They went for more than $100. So I was like, I'm just going to buy it. So I finally have I need a tray. I need a Super Nintendo tray to complete it. But I do have everything. I've got the map, the manual. I don't have all the inserts. Some people consider that complete, whatever. To me, it's a game and a manual and a box. So to me, it's complete. But that's what I got.
Congratulations. That was a big one. It's like the same day I got to Fantasy Star, you grabbed that. So that's pretty cool.
That was the same day.
It's a good day. Need more days like that.
I need more money to do that.
Same.
I also grabbed Super Black Bass on NES. Or not Super, I'm sorry, just Black Bass on NES. Fishing game I've been looking for. I was pretty excited for that.
Is it in box?
It's just the cartridge.
Oh.
But
box comes later.
Yeah, we'll get there. The price was right. It was like $5, I think.
The price is always right.
That's right. We'll play some fishing games. Weather's been hit or miss. NES weather's always perfect.
All right, real quick, go around the circle. What game do you want to play next? Nate.
What are going to?
You want to play next?
I'd love to play Phantasy Star. This is the only mainline Phantasy Star game I haven't played, so it's pretty high on my list.
All right, Brian, what's you?
Honestly, it's kind of a weird one, but ever since the next generation patch came out for Cyberpunk, I want to try giving that another go.
I would suggest not, but okay.
Yeah?
Nah.
I mean, I know what I'm getting into this time is a thing. It just might run a little better and look a little prettier.
Eh.
But yeah, I want to check it out again. I want to give it another chance.
How far did you get the first time?
I gave up pretty quickly. I think I only put about 7 hours into it.
I
was talking to the character I was supposed to talk to on the phone, and they appeared behind me, then shot up into space like a SpaceX rocket. I said, you know what? Let's just wait till they patch us a couple times.
Let's just say they put out a patch, and then people were loading up, and every single car was exploding on the map still.
Sounds
instantly.
great.
So
they fixed everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely fixed everything.
It's kind of like the new patch for Battlefield they just released. It has 400 fixes. And
I would
what?
absolutely suggest trying Cyberpunk again if you played it on PC.
Yeah.
I would just stay away from consoles.
Yeah. I don't have that choice unless it runs on Surface Tablet anytime soon.
I mean,
Or my
honestly,
DOS computer.
CD Projekt Red's made for playing games on
Yeah.
PC.
As we're all patiently waiting for this Witcher next gen update for consoles.
Still waiting.
Yep.
Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't believe anything at this point.
No.
Q444.
All right, you want to get into
What do you want to play next, Barry?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I would like to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 before 3 comes out. By the time this podcast comes out, I'm pretty sure 3's going to be out because we're kind of a little ahead. Full disclosure, we record these podcasts quite a bit ahead of time, so we may say some things that are a little outdated for all the listeners out there. But I would like to play that one before the new game comes out.
You say that, but I bet Battlefield's still going to suck.
What are you pointing at? She's probably really upset that I haven't been on the couch all day because she spends all of her time with me on the couch now.
Came in to check on you. It was precious. I'm sorry.
Probably.
Yeah,
Or
Blanket Buddy was pretty cute.
it's close to her feed time, that's what.
Oh.
You got an hour. What did you say right before that?
Battlefield's still going to suck even if it's months and months in advance of recording.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Bro, 400 fixes, and they're like, oh, we're fixing things.
So getting right into it, we have a smorgasbord, if you will, of collectibles spread out right now that we all would like to talk about. Who wants to start? Let's take volunteers.
I think you're a host, and I think you go first and you pass it off.
Oh.
You're the quarterback, bro.
I was going to volunteer, but I
That's
guess
fine.
the council's decided that Barry's starting.
No, Nate, you can go. Volunteer and voluntold is a little different.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. First item I have is a action figure for a game. When I say the title, you wouldn't really expect to have figures of. I think it's more commonplace today to license stuff for figures for video games, or if it's Nintendo related, they did a pretty good job. But I have a figure for Maximo and the Army of Zen. This specific figure was actually a convention exclusive from Mid-Ohio Con. The interesting thing about this figure is the company that made it, called BMA Toys, they're no longer around, but 3 people who were the co-founders of McFarlane Toys, Todd McFarlane, Spawn, known for very high quality figures.
Not anymore.
Statues.
At the time, they were exquisite.
Brian and I just went for the burn.
But they wanted to make their own company, and the first 2 licenses they got were Maximo, Army of Zen, and Ape Escape 2. They were also the last licenses they got, so not the easiest thing to find information for, but these toys were 5.5 inches, they tried to get as close to 6 inches as possible. The final product, non-disclosing this one, are closer to 6 inch.
I mean, that's like 4 or 5-ish.
It's beefier than a Joe.
I mean, he's a little short.
I'd say it's 5.5.
5.5.
Something like
what they're
that.
scaled
Okay.
at. The final ones were
Probably
closer
too
to
scale
6.
though with the actual bosses and things though.
Yeah, they're actually great figures. I was really impressed with this figure. Comes with a base. All of them came with bases to display them on, and they're very like sturdy, well made, well constructed. They kind of have that McFarlane-esque quality to them, where they're sturdy, and you drop it, you're not going to worry it's going to shatter.
Maximo is like a spin-off, right?
Yeah, Ghosts and Goblins.
Okay.
Which was what drew me to this. Like, actually, Barry and I found this figure. We were out hunting together, and they were like, "You should probably pick this up. This is pretty cool." And yeah, I think it was like $7-8 or something like that.
It was 7, yeah. It's pretty cheap.
These go for a lot more than that. I'm having trouble finding this con exclusive one. It's got a different helmet than the main release. These were also out before the line came out. But your typical Maximo Army of Zen figure is going to cost you anywhere from $30 to $50, depending on which one it is. So you're talking about $7 for a con exclusive. I feel like it's a pretty good deal.
And this is like a con exclusive. It's in like a bag with a topper that
Right.
specifically says like what con it came from.
Yeah, it's hard when you're not showing people. But
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one isn't packaged like the retail ones. The retail ones are in cards with bubble boxes like most action figures are. Used to be, I should say. This one's in a bag with stapled top, but has like the logo showing that it's an con exclusive, and then the Maximo Armio's in logo.
Well, the only thing, and we were talking about this beforehand on whether or not to open it. The only thing about that box topper is it's not stapled. It's almost like a rivet.
It's like pinched, yeah.
It's like a
pinched rivet.
it's almost like a pop rivet that's pinching it together. So you couldn't really undo a staple and then open it and then restaple it through the same holes.
Yeah, full disclosure, with most of my figures, collectibles in general, I open things. I try not to let them sit around sealed. Like if I have sealed stuff, it's because it's been sitting in there and I haven't opened it yet. So this is one of the few where I still have it in the packaging. I feel like if the packaging adds to the actual piece, I will keep it in packaging if the artwork's like stellar. This one's kind of a weird thing though, because it is just a bag, but it also has the Iconic exclusive logo on it, which I think kind of adds to the charm of this figure. I just really appreciate it because like I am a Ghosts and Goblins fan. It's not a huge property that's out there. It's well known enough where it's had spin-offs and stuff, but I think if you're like, hey, we're building action figure franchises for video games, I don't think Maximo is going to be the first thing to pop into your brain. So I find it pretty unique, and in it being a Midwest con exclusive, like probably not a whole lot of these floating around out there. But I was appreciative. The guy we bought it off, he does a lot of circuits for selling stuff at conventions, and that's how he acquired it. So it was pretty cool for it to just kind of fall into our lap like that. But Brian, would you kind of look at it from this? You're a really big action figure guy. Like, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, honestly, I probably lean towards collecting action figures maybe a little more than video games at this point. It's a really cool piece. I haven't seen it before. I'll give you this suggestion. If you are going to open it, you can take that top piece and put it in front of it, kind of like a placard. That way it keeps the
That'd be pretty
packaging,
cool, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I
now,
didn't think
my
about that.
personal opinions, when it comes to opening and closing things, I've been opening more and more of my stuff as I get older because I have more and more shit. But that's a cool one. I think you could display it easily hanging up. It's already got a hole in it. Put a push pin through it.
I mean, if we want to talk about the debate of opening figures or not, like it's kind of coming into fruition with some other people I know that do get figures of maybe a different genre than me, which is anime figures. More so, I collect some of them. But anyways, figures that are staying in packaging are actually deteriorating faster.
Yep.
And it's interesting because a lot of them were made with different plastics than we use now, and those plastics are not holding up. So, like, I have a couple of the Final Fantasy VIII summon figures that, like, Nate and I went and picked those up. They were super cool. They were, like, sealed in package.
God, they're so cool.
Super cool. And those they made, like, normal painted versions, and then they have these translucent versions. And two of the ones I have are the translucent ones, and when I got home, I was like, ripping the package open, pulling them out, and they're sticky. Like, they're sealed in box, and you pull them out and you touch, and it's only the translucent ones with this whatever material they use to make them. They just came out the package sticky, and once they sticky, they don't get unsticky. You can't unsticky them because essentially the plastic is reacting and melting. So now we're running into this issue where a lot of collectors who have their figures still in package from year to 30, 40 years ago are deteriorating inside of the package because they've just been cut off from air so long. So now it's like, all right, what's the point of your figure isn't mint in package anymore? It's really crumbling.
Poke a hole in this boy.
I mean, that's the thing. Everybody do whatever you want. But I think I agree with Nate. There's certain figures, if it adds to the figure, I'll keep it on card. But the older I get, man, like, I want to enjoy my shit. Like, I don't have kids. I'm not going to pass them on. I'm getting buried with all my shit. So, like, open it, have fun with it. I like articulating the figures and, like, displaying them, taking pictures of them. So, this is a cool piece, man. I'm a little envious of it. It's cool to get video game-specific figures. And, especially for something, I know you're a Capcom, like, Sega guy. Like,
Especially forgotten
cool.
titles, too.
Right,
Sure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a unique piece. It's pretty sweet. I'm fairly envious. I want to see them other figures, though, from the line. I've seen a couple of them, and they are pretty pricey, but I think one of the cool things about this, like, for an action figure, they're supposed to have action features, right? So, like, this one, you can actually strip him down to his boxers like he's, taking damage in the game. I think it's a pretty cool thing for a figure.
Yeah, they have a package variant one where it's just him in the drawers, like the heart boxers, and I would really like to get my hands on that one. So I'm also looking for a copy of this game still, so...
The second one?
Yeah, I need it too.
All right, still keep it, both of you?
Yep. Got the
Keep
first
my
one.
eye
One of those
out.
games that's not expensive. It's not common. I would say it's like uncommon. It's not.
I don't see it very often anymore. Yeah,
it's like crazy rare, but like I've been looking for one for longer than I care to admit. So,
those are the top-down, like platformer ones, right?
this one's like a action adventure, like almost third person.
Oh,
Like a
cameras up
platformer?
behind you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's why I bought them then.
Yeah.
I'm not into the side scrollers. Like,
Ghost and Goblins would be like
Yeah.
the side scrolling and Dark
okay,
Souls
yeah,
on easy, like compared to that game. But great games though. They're just not for the faint of heart. Just go around a circle.
sure.
Someone in charge of. All right, Brian. Pass it off to you. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so this is a fun topic for me. I've got a huge collection. So the one I want to start up with is, well, it's kind of, I cheated. I've got...
Well, you got 4. Don't forget
Yeah.
the 4th one.
Let's say it's kind of cheating. I kind of got a twofer with the...
Okay, fair
my
enough.
first one I'm going to start with Batman promotional items. So the first one that I have is a cardboard standee that went on the counter for GameStop. It is for Lego Batman, the video game. And it was to incentivize you to pre-order it. The pre-order bonus you got was a keychain. And it was like a Lego minifigure. It was one of the villains. And it was like randomly selected which one you're going to get. And the miniature standee here, he hung an empty space right here. So it actually had a display of the Lego keychain that you got. Mine's Lex Luthor. Unfortunately, he fell off. But I still have the minifigure. But this was displayed at GameStop's, and I think I purchased this from a local toy store for like $5, like something very reasonable. It's in pretty good shape. I think it's cool because it is smaller compared to the second piece I brought along that was my Batman standee, which is the Arkham City standee, which is pretty big boy. I bought him the same toy store. I don't think it was the same time. It might have been. That thing's huge. It's awesome. It's probably like, what, 5 feet maybe?
It's a smidge shorter than me,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. But it's basically Batman, like, hunched over on top of, like, the gargoyle. I guess not like a gargoyle.
Yeah, it's like the
but-
Arkham City cover.
Yeah, yeah.
But his cape's like sweeping out.
Yeah, it's like kind of 3D.
Bloody gloves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got blood. So it's red, black, and white, which is just awesome artwork. And apparently that was inside a Walmart. And I don't know how the toy store got it, but it's got a couple bins in it. It's not in perfect condition, but the price was absolutely right on it. They were like, yeah, we know it's damaged, but it's a cool conversation piece. Like, how's $20 down? And I was like, yep, all day. So to be transparent, I've got a ton of promotional, like, in-store display stuff for the Batman games, but so I feel like this already kind of fit my collection a little bit. To have a standee, it's something I've always wanted. I've got like a Spider-Man comic standee from like my childhood, and to have one from my favorite Batman game in the series is pretty special. The artwork's great, like you were saying, with the blood and stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy to have it in my collection. It's funny, I was bringing it over here today so we can take some pictures of it for social media, and my significant other thought I was getting rid of it, and it made her happy, but I mean, it's cool. I dig it.
It's always the first immediate question. Are you
Yep.
getting rid of that?
So you're getting rid of that? But she was like jubilant about it. I don't know how else to talk about cardboard. It's tough. I guess you guys got to share your thoughts on it.
It's a cardboard standee.
It is tough to talk
Cardboard
about.
standees are really not my thing.
Yeah.
So I can see the cool flavor of them, but the space issue is where I
Oh,
just
God.
don't buy into it.
Tell me about the space issue. Like, I don't really know where to display. I bought it because I'm like, oh, this thing's rad, but it just kind of sits in a corner, gets some dust.
Yeah, I think they're amazing pieces. They're just very hard to display. And I think the wall scroll GameStop ones are kind of easier because you can kind of just throw them up. But, like, dude, that Batman one's so cool. And have a crossover with, like, comics and games. You can kind of put it where you need to in your collecting
Yeah, I will say
space.
the Lego Batman one I have, it's a desktop one, and it literally sits on top of my VCR. So, like, perfect place for it. And I wish the keychain was still attached, but I still have him, and he just sits next to it. Yeah, it's like you were saying. I'm a big comic book guy also, so it kind of fits into my collection nicely. But they're fun.
Also, I feel like the cutouts have kind of gone down in quality over the years, too. A lot of them are just flat now. Like, the Batman Arkham City one you have is, like, textured. It's got, like, different 3D layers to it. It's a really cool piece. And even this Lego Batman one, the fact that it's, like, you can hang stuff off of it. I don't know. I always appreciate it's not just a display thing. It's, like, it kind of linked with the pre-orders. It's a pretty cool piece, man. I'm a little envious of it, as you said, of mine, but...
I mean, the advertising and stuff, I'm kind of a sucker for. Maybe it's because I love Mad Men, and that's the whole show, right? It's like make something cool and stand out, have the pitch. So, yeah, these are cool pieces for me. So, Barry, what's your first item?
I'll just pick this one since it's right here, but I have, and the 3 things I picked are like very much the 3 things that I am like super into, but it is the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine, and Hearts of Stone expansion pack, and I don't know if they're classified as like a collector's edition or a limited edition, but they came with Gwent decks. And I didn't know about these existing until I walked into a GameStop one day, and I think I was picking something up, I don't know what it was, but they had like a cardboard standee of them, and they fit inside of it, and it was like, here, get it, and I was like, oh, cool, and I don't remember how much it was either $30 or $40, but it comes with the digital code for the expansion pass, and the DLC, and then it has 2 Gwent decks and little counters, and a cool box with a slipcover, so I was like, okay, like, I can justify $40 for an entire expansion DLC and the Gwent decks, and then that was Hearts of Stone, and then when Blood and Wine came out, I made sure to grab that one too. These came out in 2015 and then 2016, so they had DLC drop after like a year between. And the interesting thing about these is originally, CD Projekt Red had this deal with Xbox where they were supposed to get some kind of exclusivity, and ended up coming out with the collector's edition that had 2 Gwent decks and a cloth map that the PC and the PS4 version did not have. So that was their way of catering to Xbox, saying, well, we are giving you something exclusive. It's not exclusive DLC, because we promised we wouldn't do that. I could be speaking this not verbatim and inaccurately, but this is how I understood it. And so Nilfgaard and the Northern Realms were the 2 decks that came with the Xbox version. And then Blood and Wine came out and included those 2 decks. So everybody's killing each other for the Xbox One Collector's Edition because it had Gwent decks in it. Like, that's the only way to get officially licensed Gwent decks, was the Collector's Edition. And so when these 2 packs came out, like Hearts of Stone was cool because it comes with the Scoia'tael and the monster deck. Super awesome. And it's cool that the pack comes with 2 so you can play with somebody. It's not just like you gives you 1 deck and you're like, all right, better figure it out for yourself. But then Blood and Wine came out, and the only difference, as far as I'm aware, is the ones with the Collector's Edition came with their own individual deck boxes that reflect the pattern of the back of the card to signify which deck it was. But as far as I'm aware, the cards are the same, and I'm not sure what the price is on them now. Last time I remember, they were like $100 a piece.
Ooh.
And I don't know if that was DLC code used or not.
We were just at Half Price Books, and we saw them for, I want to say it was like $80 with no DLC, but it was like
yeah, but they price their stuff up high sometimes.
Full price books now, buddy.
Yeah. So I don't really know what they're going for. If I had to guess without quick searching, it might be somewhere around $70, $80. Probably. I mean, considering that Gwent is kind of, nobody really understood Gwent, and then everybody played the game, was like, oh, Gwent's actually really good. And they've got an app game for it, and so this is the only way to get physical cards that are officially licensed. And they're really nice. I wish CD put out a Gwent deck, starter deck series line, or boosters, or some kind of TGC Gwent line. I would be all over it.
There's a lot of people that would be all over that.
Like, I need
me
it.
included. I would totally buy into that. It's a shame this is the only way you can get a licensed one.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild if you think about it, like how big The Witcher's gotten. Like, you even think they would do like Netflix ones or something, but it's just crazy to me. This is literally the only way to do it.
I also believe these physical in quotation expansions are only on PS4.
I think you're right.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, because I mean, when I played it, like PS4 was what I played Witcher on, so I naturally was like, okay, I'll just buy these. So this is the only way to get them was PS4?
I'm 99% sure. I've been looking for an Xbox.
Okay.
I have the Blood and Wine one on PS4, and I'm 99.9% confident those are only on PS4.
Because
These are, yeah. They're not on Xbox.
Yeah, now that you say that, I don't remember ever seeing anything other than PS4. Maybe PC, but who's to say?
They don't make anything physical for PC, so who knows?
That's true. I'd have to dig a little deeper, but you're probably right.
Yeah, so I think that's cool that it's a kind of a counterbalance to the Xbox One Collector's Edition being outrageously overpriced secondary market, and you can get these as like a good. But I enjoy collecting, like when there's DLC, if there's a physical edition. The last game I can think of before that, Fallout 3 and Oblivion had DVD style cases, like 360 games that were like DLC. I'm a sucker for those. I want it on my shelf. I think it looks cool.
Oh, you mean the DLCs that come out on like a disc?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, I know these don't have like a physical copy, but it's something to display on my shelf of like Witcher DLC. I think it's dope. So,
Dude, these sets are super nice too. Like the cards look super high quality. The boxes they come in look cool. They're color coordinated. Like these are rad. Pretty envious of these two, Barry.
And it's a little disappointing that they've never re-released these because, like, sorry, like, loss of money. But, like, everybody who's into Witcher now does not have a chance to buy these or play the games in real life, and you have to resort to third party like Etsy, which I've bought because mine are still in their package. I have opened everything so I could redeem the codes, but I still have the decks in their plastic because I just didn't want to open them. So I ended up buying, like, someone made this high quality, like, Gwent deck thing, and I ended up buying it. It's nice. It's just not the officially licensed nice. There is definitely a quality difference. So I wish CD Projekt Red put something out with supporting boosters and whatnot. I would be all into it. I don't know why they haven't.
shocking.
Especially considering they could turn that into some kind of tournament style and have like a whole, I don't know, like, why are you guys focusing so hard on Cyberpunk? Stop it.
Gotta save it.
You gotta save your own company and you have to focus on the one thing that, brought you money milk it till it dies.
Yep.
That's the one thing I'll ever say, milk it till it dies, is Witcher.
It's just crazy. That's a little the only way to get licensed cards. Like, you don't think they'd like maybe make their own, like scale them down, make them more closer to real card size instead of like tarot card size? And
yeah, that is the one thing that they are longer than a standard card. Like if you imagine a Pokemon card size, add on like an inch or two to the top of that, and you've got a long style card. So they're not very standard for like sleeves or anything like that. Probably weird to manufacture. But if you look at the card art, there's a lot of wasted space on it too, so you could shrink them down and it'd be completely fine.
I think it's inexcusable that there's not like a Gwent style card game where you can buy cards and open boosters and
Absolutely.
just rake in the dough.
I mean, that's what you do on the game, is like you
Yes.
get a starter deck and then you gain cards from winning them from other people and then you edit your decks, like any other trading card game does. So take your
Preposterous.
online game, take the art and all the rules and the stuff from it, and then just print it on a card. And then sell it to me and you'll have my money.
And my money.
You guys already gave us the Witcher role-playing tabletop game with officially licensed dice. Come on. Get out of here. Give me cards. Anyways. So, if you find a chance to get these for a decent price, I would say, like, I don't know, if you can find it for $50, scoop it. Even if it doesn't have a code.
I would jump all over those $50 just for the cards alone, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're saying, it doesn't have the code.
I mean, if you
the
think
box
about
looks
it,
cool.
the box is cool if you think about it, $25 a piece for high quality starter deck cards. I mean, that might be high to somebody, but to me that seems reasonable.
Yeah, they're all super quality. I'd jump all over that.
Nate, what do you have for your second item?
Before we all start flipping the table over in anger that there's not a Gwent card game official.
I know, I'll just keep going.
My second item, something I normally don't collect. It's a very intense collective market. This is actually a Nintendo licensed Legend of Zelda, kind of like a shooting gallery pinball game. It is still on the card. It is a Nintendo Power licensed, and it's manufactured by Largo Toys. I can find a few examples of other toys from this line online, but this specific one's been very challenging. And then kind of further digging into kind of getting some stories so I could talk about this item. There's a lot of people posting questions like, what the hell is this? It's just surprising to me, being Nintendo. They have a very loyal fan base that knows everything about everything, and it being Zelda on top of that, I figured there'd be fan sites, and it's hard to get information on these, but from what we've gathered, they wanted to promote the release of Nintendo Power in 1988, so they commissioned a Punch-Out line, a Super Mario Brothers line, and a Legend of Zelda line of toys. It's just little simple handheld games. There's like a water game, if anyone who's like a 90s baby knows, like if your Game Boy's batteries died, you got to grab like the Tiger Electronics or the stupid little shoot the water up, get the balls.
Is that the one like the bubble rings?
Yep. Get the little. It's they're all games like that. So there's like this one is a wind up one where the targets move on it up and down, and you have a little ball launcher. You got to shoot these magnetic balls, and it's all encapsulated in plastic, so your balls don't go flying off everywhere. But it's Zelda branded, so it's kind of cool. Like the targets have different items from Legend of Zelda in it. Yeah, even scanning the barcode, trying to find one on eBay, it pulls up the punch-out equivalent, but then I looked further and there's like color variants to all these too.
I mean, there's supposed to be like a number. Is it like 55-80 or something?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
88-50.
Oh, I had the numbers right, just the order.
Yeah, but I mean, they all have their own numbers or whatever.
Yeah, there's like a part number, and even I try to try and put this part number in, and just a bunch of gibberish came up. So there's really no what's the word? Record. There's really no real record of these types of games. Yeah,
and there's enough examples where you can find the other ones. But and it seems like every single game, there's like one that's fairly more common than the other ones. Like I saw a lot of the Punch Out of the style shooting gallery one, the Zelda one. I saw a lot of the water ones. This one's a ghost. Like I would love for someone to be like, "Hey, I found it," and they tell me where I'm wrong. But this was actually I found this at a local toy store's junk table. I think I got this for $1, nothing more than like $2 or $3. This is extremely cheap. Still, it's beat up, but it's still sealed on the card. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what this is, but it's Zelda, and I know this is worth more than $3. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. It has the original price tag on it, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, where the price was, they ripped off, but pretty unique piece. And it's got, Nintendo going for it, Zelda going for it, and Nintendo Power, which has become very collectible over the years. So let's get some thoughts about this item, I guess. Brian, what do you have?
For starters, I think it's super cool that it's actually like the first Zelda, Legend of Zelda. It's probably one of the earlier pieces of official merchandise from that game.
It was
game,
88,
right?
so yeah.
Because, all the Zelda merch that comes out now is like 64 era or higher. So to have like official merchandise from the original NES game is pretty damn cool. The fact it's on card, pretty awesome. Straight up, I'll give you $3 for it right now. How about that? You make
What is this, like Antique Roadshow?
Right.
Yeah. It's cool. It's I like the older style stuff where like before we had, PSPs and Game Boys, like this is what you had to do to pass the time if your brother was playing the Nintendo, So it's pretty fun, man. I'm pretty envious of like everything so far, just to throw it out there.
Is that a dragon breathing fire in the corner?
Yeah, the art is like astounding.
Is there even a dragon in the game?
I don't think so.
That breathes fire?
First one. I want to say no. There's also a crab attacking you on this art, so...
Oh, man.
It's probably based off of a traditional
Why does the
battle.
crab not have any crab claws?
Maybe Link sliced them off.
Giant enemy crab. Yeah, super cool piece, man. The fact that it's on card's pretty awesome, too. So, I'm not telling you what to do. That's something you don't open, though.
I wasn't planning on it because the artwork is gorgeous on the packaging, so...
I'm going to open it right in front of you.
Please don't. I will say this, 2 of the 3 items I brought today, Barry was with me, so I clearly the good luck charm, so... But I feel like most of our pickups, it's like one of us are together, so...
Somewhere at some point, yeah.
But yeah, I think, like I said, I don't really go actively for Zelda stuff. I do appreciate the franchise. It's not one I mainly collect for. But I saw this and like, this needed rescued. It was literally a junk table.
It was
labeled as junk table, so I was like, no, like I'm saving this. I'm taking this home. This is very cool. It's got a crab on it.
Fighting crabs.
It's like it's hard to touch on this one without a lot of information, but I think it's really cool. I think the artwork's cool. But Brian, what's next on your agenda?
So my second item, well, full disclosure, it's a copy of Mass Effect 3 on Xbox 360. Yep. However, I was fortunate enough to meet Jennifer Hale and have her autograph it for me. So pretty excited about that. She actually signed it to Brian Fight On, so that's pretty cool. I went with Mass Effect 3 because of the reversible cover where it's got female Shepard on it. I feel like that would be the best one to display.
Oh, having Jennifer Hale not sign female Shepard...
Right.
I would just smack you.
Right.
I'd be like, what's wrong with you, Brian?
And like I wanted a game, like I could have got a print or something else, but like I wanted the game signed. The only other thing I thought about getting signed was like the female Shepard statue. I have like have her sign the base or something, but I was like, I want a game. Like this is where I spent my time with this character. So yeah, she was awesome. Super personable. You could tell she appreciated all of her fandom. She's done a ton of voice work, so she's got, fans out of every genre of like every game. But you can tell just like listen to her talk about Mass Effect, like it holds a special place in her heart. So it's pretty cool. My only regret with meeting her was she was doing like voice recordings for like $20. So I totally could have got like, this is my favorite ringtone in the galaxy or something from her. Like that would have been awesome for a call tone. But no, man, she was a blast. I'm super happy to have this. I keep this displayed out on my like older consoles. Like it sits with my Xbox 360, my PS3 on like a little display case. So pretty fortunate to have this. Honestly, if I met other members from the cast, I don't know if I'd have them sign this one just because of the cover with her on it. I think it looks really good. She placed her signature really well where it's not disrupting the artwork. As a comic fan, getting autographed comics, that's kind of one of the things that bugs me. So, like, she knew what she was doing with that. It's pretty cool. It's personalized also. Like, I'm not the kind of person to buy autograph stuff and sell it. To me, when I meet, artists or, actors, the personability of it's one of the reasons why I do it. Like, when I met William Shatner, like, I sat there and had a full conversation with the man, like, highlight of my life. She was the same way, man. It was pretty cool. So, I always make it a point to get it personalized. So, I'm pretty thankful to have this. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, games are one of those things that kind of falls under the radar in terms of what people go talk about autographs for. I don't know. I think people who really play games and can recognize voices across games, like, we are into voice actors. So meeting some of those people, it's like a big deal to us who are really into that genre, but it's not anywhere on the same line as like, oh, I got a autograph from William Shatner, for example. Like, it's people don't view it the same way, so I don't think it's broke the market quite as well as those types of things.
When's that Wad of Pink label coming out?
God, don't start. No, it's
Why
true
is it
though.
pink? Shouldn't it be gold?
Pulling out of my ass.
Should be green for making them money.
Yeah,
It should be brown because it's shit.
If they survive a lawsuit, but all right.
Yeah, hopefully not.
this is how they're going to cover their cost.
I mean, do you guys have any other autographed video game memorabilia?
No, I'd love to. I don't, though.
I do. I've got a copy of Red Dead Redemption signed by the voice actor for John Marston. I can't remember his name because I'm an idiot, but he was awesome, and he was literally the most humble person I've ever met in my life. Like, there was somebody in the line behind me. He wasn't dogging on the game, but he's kind of saying like, "Oh, like Red Dead 2 is like better. How's you make that feel?" He's like, "Dude, I get to do this and hang out with my fans because of you guys buying this." Like, he's like, "I'm living the dream." He's like, I don't remember what he said he was doing. He was doing another job, and like, he did some voice work, and he felt like you could just tell he even said like, "I'm so privileged to be backed for the sequel." Like, it was cool, man. And like you said, the video game autographing thing, it hasn't really caught on, but I would love to get some of my beloved franchises. Like, if I can meet the director of a game or the artist of a game and have them sign it, I would be all about that, man. Because I think especially for video games, you spend your time, like significant amounts of time. You read a comic book and you get it autographed. How much time did you spend with that, man? Especially Mass Effect, like something I'm super passionate and love. I can't tell you how many hours I've poured in this game. How many times I've heard her read the lines in the game. Like, you form a connection with it whether you want to or not. It's super interesting with video games. So like, just coming that full circle is pretty cool, man. I'm pretty happy to have this. That being said, I wanted to meet the voice actors for Liara, but that thing was wrapped around the table as far as her line.
I believe it.
And every time I got there early, she was late. So guess what? I don't have an autograph from her.
She's another prolific one as well. I think
I can't remember her name.
I think I just talked to you guys the other night about something I was watching.
Lightning. Yep.
Yeah, she voices Lightning in Final Fantasy because when I was playing World of Final Fantasy, I was like, why is this so familiar? And I was like, that's Liara to Sony. That's it. And then I looked up and she'd done a whole bunch of other stuff.
Oh yeah.
No, I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about Jennifer Hale either. So it's cool, like when you actually meet these people and when they actually work out to be like decent human beings and like do appreciate your time. Because Brian and I've been in enough comic conventions where we have probably a few examples of the opposite. No, it's cool when you meet people that you're looking forward to meet and you're paying money to meet, that they're actually like nice human beings and they're appreciative of your time, and it makes you feel good and it makes you have a good opinion about them. So
yeah, I mean, sometimes it is kind of the convention and how fast they're making them push people along, and you can kind of tell if you're getting pushed along a line and some of the actors are like not looking like they appreciate the fact that they're being rushed too. Like, it's clear that they want to spend time with people as well, so it kind of sucks on their end when they're kind of being forced in that where you have to keep a schedule. But there was a convention I went to where a panel, it was the voice cast of Fruits Basket, and they did the whole thing where it was like, hey, you get a train, send them on the train, you don't really get to talk to them. And then later, individually, some of them ended up like renting out space so they could come do individual ones. And that's where I got Eric Vale to sign my Trunks pop, because I was like, I need you to sign something from Trunks, because I already have Vegeta and Goku signed. So I was like, let me just get the Trunks one. And he was so nice. Like, he took all that time that he didn't get in the train to, like, really just talk to people. And it was just me and a friend and some other person in front of us, and we waited, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, because he was just talking to this girl in front of us, and we were cool with that. So it was nice.
So, Barry, what's your next item?
I'll go in the Mass Effect line. So,
Good.
I have the Mass Effect Art of the Mass Effect Universe. It came out in 2012 with an MSRP price of $80, and it is the art book for the entire universe inside a clamshell, like a thick clamshell case, and the cover of the clamshell case is like the Mass Effect 3 reversible cover where it's got male and female Shepard on one side and the other, and it's like metallic and everything, so you can display one side or the other. The specific thing about this set is it was limited to 1,500 pieces, and the book on the inside has 24 pages of exclusive Art of Comic content. So the only way to get those 24 pages of Art of Comics was ordering this set. The other Art of Mass Effect universe doesn't have the comics in the back of it, so it is not just an art book inside of a clamshell and they bumped the price up, like they put more extra content into it. So I saw this and pre-ordered it, and it came out before Mass Effect 3 actually came out, so super excited about this game. Loved Mass Effect 2, loved the first one. Like, 3 was supposed to be like the end-all, be-all, ultimate epic trilogy. Got this super beautiful set, and then the game came out, and we'll save that for another day.
We could literally do a whole episode about just the ups and downs of Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, so, but I mean, like,
2 Mass Effect mega fans here.
It's a nice set, and the thing of, like, it is limited to 1,500. They're not numbered, as far as I'm aware. I didn't get, like, a numbered certificate or something with it. I've had this for 10 years at this point, so I don't even know, like, where... I know Nate's over there just, like, shell-shocked that I said it's been a decade since 2012. Yeah. But, I mean, it's supposed to be numbered for 1,500, and because, you know, sometimes they say, like, oh, there's only 1,000 of these, and then you're like, I see this too often to be 1,000. I do not see this anywhere
I've
at
never
all.
seen another one, honestly.
I think at any point in time, I can maybe find one on eBay for maybe one. None of them sold. I don't know if anybody's not buying them or what, but, like, you can buy one on there for, like, $300 right now if you really want it that badly. But it is, like, very hard to find at this point. I've never seen another one in person, so it definitely is one of those quite limited items.
It's a beautiful piece. Like the case it's in, striking. Like, it's super. It's flashy,
it's huge,
but not
too.
Like, gaudy.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I can't talk it up how, like, really eye popping it is. It's a really cool piece, man.
And it doesn't say Mass Effect 3. It is, like, basically the cover art of Mass Effect 3 without any of the logos or titles. It's just strictly the art of both Shepards.
It's clean.
Obviously, I have female Shepard displayed. Nothing against the other one, but obviously the cooler one.
So, Brian, you keep using this envious word. As a Mass Effect mega fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of all the things that we have here, this is definitely, it's pretty sick.
That's the one.
I'm a huge Mass Effect fan.
That's the one that Brian might steal from my house.
No, I would never steal from you, but...
If you did.
That's the only one I've seen. No, super cool piece, man. Like I said, I have the normal art Mass Effect Universe book, and it's a nice book. Don't get me wrong, but this thing is like, you can tell it's deluxe. You can tell they put some time into making it nice and fancy.
It's a nice clamshell.
Right.
Yeah, it's insane.
It is a high quality one.
And the fact that it comes with the comic stuff is, again, big comic book collector. Two of my favorite things merged together once again. It's like, damn it, why didn't I prefer this?
Pretty good series,
a 22-year-old drunk, that's why.
It's a pretty good comic series too, so it's cool that they have some time set aside for that in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think 24 pages front and back, so it's nice.
Yeah, super cool pickup, man.
Nate, what do you have for your final, third, mind-blowing item?
I don't know if it's really mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to me.
Oh, it's absolutely mind-blowing. You can blow the item's mind.
It's sentimental to me, so
because you can turn his head inside out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
This is a Dakin Sonic the Hedgehog plushie from 1993. There was a line of them. I think there was 4. But I know for the fact there's 3 this size and there's one 10-inch one. The unique thing about this one is you can stuff him into the back of his head and he turns into a ball. So it's like Sonic's side profile while he's running at his little ball.
No, you shove his entire body into the front of his head.
Well, no, that's the back of his head. That's the ball. But you
got to push him in his face, right, to flip it inside out?
Yeah, just cram his face.
All right, so you shove his arms and his feet and everything into the front of his face and turn him inside out, and he turns into a Sonic ball.
Why I chose this item is this is one of the earliest toys I've ever received. This is from my childhood. I know for a fact this is my first video game item I ever got. I mean, I was probably close to 3 or 4 when I got this. He's had one arm surgery where my dad had to sew his arm on because shoving him in the ball, I wasn't as gentle as I am now when I was a kid. And Sonic went on a lot of adventures with me. I remember taking him to the playground at school and stuff, even when I was like way older than 3. Like this guy's been on some, I think pretty sure he's crossed some state lines. Like he's been on some adventures with me. So he's got a really special place in my heart. And it's like, I am a self-professed Sega fanboy, and this was like kind of my gateway to it, was this little guy, and my voice is cracking because I'm so excited. No.
It's just so sentimental.
No, like, I am a Sega fanboy, and this was my first Sega item, definitely my first video game item that was like mine personally that we didn't share with the whole family, and kind of the gateway to my collecting and appreciation of all things that aren't just video games, but video game related memorabilia, which was kind of hot button in the 90s, and now it's kind of taken off too. But I think it was the simpler times for Sonic when it was just about being fast and being rad. And I love Sonic. I think it's turned into like a way more than what Sonic started off as, which is a whole other thing, a whole other topic. But I think it's a cool item. It is obviously super sentimental to me. I remember Brian and I have probably had some youngin' fights over this thing. So Brian, you remember Sonic pounding around with us as kids?
I do. Yeah, it's cool to see it again, honestly. I'm also going to melt your mind. So I remember this from our early childhood. I remember you also, it's funny you brought up, I was going to bring it up if you didn't, the whole like, yeah, you are the Sega guy, but you even were as a kid, man. I remember like in kindergarten, mom got you that Sonic watch.
Yo, I forgot all about that. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's funny. You've always kind of been the Sega guy. It's pretty funny. But yeah, this thing's awesome. I remember it's good to see it again. It's been a long time. But I always thought it was so cool that turns the ball, man. Like, even now, there's no plushes that do that. Like, it has an action feature, and it's a plush. Like, how cool is that? It's funny to see it again after all these years. It's in pretty good shape for how old it is.
All things considered, the amount of playgrounds, and there's some hair stuck to them. But
I think I remember like when I was helping you sort your room, I like pulled him up and I said, "What is this haggard looking Sonic?" And you were like, "Bro, it's from my childhood." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, no disrespect."
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's cool that you still have it. It really is. Stuff like that. I mean, end of the day, this is why I like some of the things I like, because I really haven't grown up that much, right? Like, I'm still into the same shit I was into back then. So it's cool to have like the sentimental attachment to it. Sure, you could buy another one off eBay, but it's not going to be your childhood one. And a lot of my games even are like my childhood copy. So I think that's something special, man.
Speaking of eBay, if you want one of these, Sonic's pretty popular right now, given the movie's success. I think there's a whole new audience open to Sonic.
Absolutely.
And these are about $60 a piece on eBay right now. So with worse condition than this haggard guy
Vintage
right here.
Sonic.
I like the gut too. He's kind of got a gut.
He's got a little pot belly.
Definitely like 90s style Sonic.
It's his mouth that just kills me.
Super toed with a smirk. Like, yeah, the other one's like his head shaped a little differently, where he's got the bigger like eye profile. This one definitely looks like the most 90s for sure. So I think I got thank you, Mom and Dad, for this one, because he's pretty badass. But Brian, I know your next item is something from our childhood too. So
yeah,
talk about
double whammy for me. So as the action figure guy, I had to bring an action figure, and we touched on this game previously, but it is I want to get this name right because it's special. It's not
Diablo.
Oh, it's not just Diablo, ma'am. It is
okay.
Fireball Attack Diablo.
Oh, excuse me.
Because, in the 90s, every single action figure had to have an action feature.
That's true.
It couldn't just be an articulated masterpiece. But yeah, it's from Primal Rage. It's Diablo. He's the red Tyrannosaurus, if you don't know. But these figures, man, they were awesome back then. They're awesome now. They are from Playmates in 1994. And the cool thing with these Primal Rage figures, I already said they had action features. So Diablo clearly shoots a fireball. But they all came with like accessories that weren't in the game. They all had armor. So Diablo had 2 like metal bootsies you could put on them so he could kick. And they also all came with the little villagers that would like worship him in the game. And they're not highly detailed for these figures. They're just little orange pieces of plastic that are hilarious, no articulation. It's like a little caveman.
They're like Star Wars miniature size.
Oh, they're
like
so
the
tiny,
little
yeah.
like micro machines.
But why
But
they're
the
small.
size they are.
Right. The coolest things like, so Diablo, you pull his arm down, he opens his mouth, he shoots the fireball, but he can eat them. Like I can't tell you how many times as a kid I was like, yep, we're eating the villagers. So it's cool. He's in great shape for, probably what he went through. I mean, Nate and I were probably 4 or 5 when this thing came out. And I'm sure they bumped together and scratched because you had the...
I have Armadon.
Armadon, right, yeah. Which
Yeah.
I think he shot his tail.
I still have him. He's got his tail too. And if you move his arm, his little spikes move on his back.
Yeah,
But
they're actually super cool figures, man. And secondary market, I think it's kind of catching up. People remember Primal Rage. Dinosaur figures are always cool. Loose, they're actually fairly affordable, like $25, $30. But in packaging, the asking prices are insane. Sold listings are kind of all over the place, around $100 for this guy. The asking prices are $4 to $5, which is just absurd. Don't do that.
Wow.
Yeah, don't do that.
Wow.
But the coolest thing about these Primal Rage figures is they had jumbo ones that were 10 inches. These are about 5.5 to 6 inches, but they had jumbo ones that were 10 inches, and they did the exact same action features, and damn, I would love to have one of those.
they came with trading cards, cool. So you got like a double whammy. You got a figure, you got cards. Like
I think I have one card. I don't think I have the second one anymore. I've got it laying around. But yeah, he was my favorite character in the game, and I remember specifically Mom and Dad buying us our favorite ones. So I love the fact that I still have him. He's my original. He sits on my action figure video game shelf proudly, and I love Primal Rage. And I know we talked about it earlier. Man, I want that remaster, reboot, whatever you call it. Another fun fact about these really quick is that Playmates, notoriously being cheap and Playmates that they are, reused the molds for two of these. So Blizzard, who was like the Yeti, and Diablo here, they had a Leonardo versus the T-Rex Ninja Turtles double pack with this figure. They just painted it blue. And then they had a Michelangelo versus the Yeti figure where it was Blizzard, but just straight up Blizzard. So
whatever happened to Playmates?
they're still around.
What do they make?
Turtles. They got the turtle license back, so that's pretty much it.
they make younger children's toys
Yeah,
too.
they make smaller things too, yeah. But that's interesting, man. They were a bigger needle mover when we were younger. But these figures are honestly great, man. Like they're pretty detailed. The paint looks good on them. Yeah, I know I punished this thing as a kid. He doesn't have a lot of scuffs. It holds up. The joints are pretty solid on it. I mean, there's not a ton of articulation. We're talking 94 figure here, but they're fun, man. Like, I'm a sucker for articulation. If you don't give me articulation, give me a cool action feature without like a lever or something hanging off of it. They did a great job of like hiding the action feature. It's literally just his arm you pull down. These are quality toys, man. Like, I really want the rest.
Yeah, I ended up I found it when I was going through my room with Barry. I found a Diablo figure, and I was really worried it was yours from your childhood. And
Nope, that was one. I said, Nate, buy this.
Yep, and again, common theme here. And I was like, yes. So when I put my figures up, I can kind of have them in eternal combat with each other. So I'm pretty excited for that. Primal Rage, like we talked about it in this podcast, how we love it all. But like, it's crazy. I got action figures and a comic book. Like, it's a bigger deal than I remember, I guess, because I feel like I have like a childhood nostalgic lens on it, but clearly other people dug it too.
I mean, this was the era of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised they got figures. They're just piggyback off of Jurassic Park success.
Barry, what's your final item?
My final item, I'm a big collector's guide collector, only for the games I really, really want. So I've got a bunch of Final Fantasy ones, but these specifically are the Prima box set Final Fantasy, and there's 2 of them. It's all they came out with. I believe it was 2015 is when they came out. First set has 7, 8, and 9, and the second set has 10, 10, 2, both the HD versions specifically, and then 12. This is before Zodiac Age came out, which is what I thought was in it originally, because I have the Zodiac Age one as well. I was like, oh, I don't need 12 guides, and now I guess I do. The clamshells, they have magnetic clamshell boxes that hold all 3 of the guides inside of it, and they're clean, they're white. It's got a little bit of a border around it, but there's nothing on there that's like Final Fantasy. It just says Final Fantasy like 7, 8, 9. But it is like it's like an ornate border around it, and on the edge it just says Final Fantasy. So the problem is if you want to display them on the side, you don't know which one's which. It just says Final Fantasy on it. And then when you open it up, all of the guides are covers, they're hard covers, all white, and they'll have the title where it's like Final Fantasy 7 with the comet behind it, the meteor, or Final Fantasy 8 with Squall and Rinoa. But 10, 10, 2, and 12 were that's the hard one to find. I don't think the first one sold as well, and the second one sold even less. They were $140 when they came out. So they're difficult to find. I've seen many more copies of 7, 8, and 9. And my copy of 10, 10, 2, and 12 is the only one I've seen. So the second I saw it, I scooped it. It also has one of them I think has a folder, and one of them is like an envelope where they have really nice high quality prints for each game. So like 7, 8, 9 have their own print from each game. And then 10, 10, 2, and 12 have their own prints. And they look to be about an 8x10 size. I want to say an 8x10 size. So I still have them in there. They're all complete for what it is. I want to get them hung up, but you can find the 7, 8, and 9 ones. The box set 2 is the one where I just cannot find it anywhere. Can't find any sold listings of it. The value on my app tells me it's worth $400, and I don't even know if that's accurate. So that one is the most difficult one to find. I don't know how many of these are printed. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people know about these.
You don't see them a lot. And
very, very rarely.
If you do see them, they're generally like marked up to hell,
yeah.
Or like someone's just trying to show off that they own one and like acting like it's for sale.
Well, and when I picked up box set 2, the store I went to had both of them, and they actually had box set 1 priced at $200 and box set 2 priced at $150, and I was like, oh, so it's only $200 because it has Final Fantasy 7 in it. Okay,
yeah.
All right, sure, whatever. I don't need that one. I need the other one. So I ended up getting what I felt like was a good deal on it. Scooped it up. The person I was with at the time was like, are you really about to spend $150 on that? And I said, yeah, watch me. I'm not buying anything else for the rest of the day, but yeah.
I mean, what do they retail for, though? It was close to that,
MSRP
right?
was $140.
Yeah, so you did good, man. Especially because you said you've never seen it. Like, I'm not a huge Final Fantasy guy, but you clearly are a huge Final Fantasy fan. And if that's the first time you've seen it, like, pull that trigger every time, man.
Yeah, it's just super unique set. I like I said, don't know if anybody really is aware of them. I don't really see them talked about anywhere. Prima has a whole thing up on their website where you can see like what's in the set. Just type in Final Fantasy Prima box set and you can go and it'll show you like what the pages look like. So you can kind of see what's all inside of it. Good luck finding it though. I was very fortunate to get mine.
They're so striking. I think the simplicity of like the all white makes them actually stand out even more than if they were like plastered with stuff. But like the ornate, it just looks super clean. They're super eye catching. When you see them, you're like, damn, what the hell is that? They're awesome. I wish they would do more games for them. I'm sure you do too. But
I think the fact that the box is magnetized, like that just makes it feel like a quality product. Like they look super nice, yeah, but those are slick, man.
Like,
those are super slick.
I didn't want to handle them with like something you need white gloves to open with because they're so like clean.
I've had to wipe them off quite a bit. I mean,
so
when I got
cool.
them, they were like kind of dirty, and I'm like, oh, we need to Clorox wipe this.
But yeah, it'd be hard to display them like you said because the spines to say Final Fantasy, but they look really cool. They're big tome sized and awesome guides. I'm a sucker for strategy guides too. I have a moderately large collection of strategy guides, and I've tried to refocus it into stuff I'd rather just actually have the guide for instead of grab everything at cheap, because there's a point in time you could grab a strategy guide for fairly cheap. That's not really the case anymore.
No, and like I really enjoy collecting collector's strategy guides, specifically with like the hardback cover and the nice art, but I will only do it for games I'm like super into. Especially a lot of the old Brady games and Prima games, they don't have hardback collector's editions. It's like a very, I want to say 360 era kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some of the PlayStation 2 games have like special, like the Final Fantasy 12. I have it has like a wraparound cover, but it's like a soft cover, and it has all the judges on it. So that's super interesting. But as far as like Prima and Brady, they just have their standard. So if it's a game I'm really into, I'll pick it up, but that's half a shelf at best.
The last collector's guide I bought, which is hilarious because you're going to crack it up when I tell you the game, Fallout 76 had a premium collector's guide, and it's.
Did you buy this at full price?
Oh yeah, I bought it. I bought that and the collector's edition and the Pip-Boy. I went all in on Fallout 76. Yeah.
Then it went all in on you.
But yeah, it's true. That's the last game I remember seeing a collector's guide for. Because yeah, they make strategy guides still, but
few and far between anymore, though.
Right.
I'm trying to think.
Because I know that a lot of them are disguised as strategy guides, and they end up being like half art book, half strategy guide.
Right.
Like, I have a couple of Assassin's Creed ones that are from like the last couple of games that are like big tomes like this, but they're hardback and they're art books with like a strategy guide slivered in it.
I have a feeling that those aren't anything you see in a store anymore. I feel like you have to order them.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when you go to GameStop, it was just like books on books on books, and they were everywhere, and there were stacks of them on the counter. I don't recall seeing one. There was one I saw at a GameStop last time I went, but I do not remember what it was. And it was probably an old game they were trying to clear out. If I had to remember it properly.
Yeah, I think these are great. Like, they have the Final Fantasy branding going for them, RPG, kind of almost collectible art book, little clearly limited thing. And yeah, they're awesome pieces. Like, nothing but tremendous things to say about them. I wish they would do more series of games like this.
And it's interesting that, like, strategy guides are phasing out. They've been phased out. Nobody buys strategy guides to actually read them anymore. So I'm wondering how much longer they're going to last, especially with a lot of games that have to be localized, and then localized teams have to do the games and the guides. So I'm wondering when they're fully going to be done. Like, I don't open up my guides to look at them. I just flip up my Google and type a very specific thing. I get stuck in it, and I find that very specific thing, and then I'm done. So...
Well, especially with like modern gaming too, the games change so much now. Like, I've never opened my Fallout 76 guide, but like for an online game that's ever changing, what's in there, man? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, half the time it's almost a surprise too. Like, I couldn't imagine them dropping Elden Ring Day 1 with a full strategy guide on everything in that, because like part of the game is a discovery.
Yeah, 'cause exploration's huge.
Yeah, and then we're months past release and there's still things people are discovering, and like I couldn't imagine how big that strategy guide would probably be. Like, I remember the Skyrim one. It was huge.
Yeah, and then they added the one with the DLC.
Yeah, that one. It was thick. It was a thickums.
I have the Morrowind Prophecies, which is like, it's a pretty valuable guide now, but it's got Blood Moon and Tribunal in it, and it's a thick ass guide. And again, if that would have came out when the game came out, it's like you're taking away the whole fun of the games exploring. Like,
right.
It's interesting. It's an interesting point.
Like, I've got the Witcher 3 one, and that does not have the DLC in it, and it's pretty thick.
It's big too. Yeah.
So
it's weird though, because like, you know, they're a lot of these older ones are pre-internet days. Like, they didn't have the luxury, so they had to spoil it. But now, it is an interesting thing, man. They've got to be dying, if not, you know, bleeding out.
Maybe they'll get in the NFT game.
NFT guides, ooh.
Prima NFT.
Hitting that stop
That's
button.
the new collector's one. Instead of having a nice hard leather.
God.
NFT joke in the same episode. I'm about to go get ran out with a pitchfork.
As long as Seth Green doesn't buy them, we'll be good.
Seth Green, I am not Dark Lord, whatever. Stole your NFT.
That's a wrap on this episode.
Yeah. That's our collection of video game collectibles that we wanted to talk about. Some things that, you know, are kind of hard to find, not really talked about, or just very unique to us and special. If there's anything that you guys collect that are video game related that you think are very unique, we'd love to hear about it. Drop us some DMs, drop us some comments, drop us a whatever on whatever. I don't know, send us some photos, some links. That'd be cool. Any of our social media accounts.
I'll let this Diablo figure bite my toes on our OnlyFans.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Our podcast is listed on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and I believe that's it. We might drop them on a couple other ones, but we're on any of those podcast hosting websites. So whatever you listen to, subscribe to there, so you can catch some new episodes. We update every other week. Nate, tell us what we're getting at next week.
Pretty excited for this one. We're cracking out the Sega Saturn to play Die Hard Arcade, and it's part of our Is It Worth It series. It's an arcade port to the Sega Saturn. It is Die Hard Arcade, part of our Is It Worth It series. Pretty excited for this one, so make sure y'all check that one out.
So that's it for this episode. I've got some homework until the next one because I've never seen Die Hard, so please don't lance me on the internet. but I will have seen Die Hard within the next 2 weeks. Specifically to talk about Die Hard Arcade, which I heard has nothing to do with the Die Hard movie, but that's all right.
Guns in a giant building.
Yep.
So.
But yeah, thank you for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks with the Is It Worth It? Die Hard Arcade. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Ready for ready.
Marry, fuck, kill. Specifically, the cast of the most recent Justice League. Nate, you go first. So we're talking Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman.
Movie lineup.
Just those 5.
And they look like the actors, correct?
Yes.
All right, so.
Yes.
Comic universe or movie universe?
That movie.
The movie? This is great. Okay.
I hate that movie.
This is great. This will be...
Not a fan.
This is the original one, not the Snyder Cut, correct?
Somehow, everyone's going to end up being disappointed
Just
with
those
whatever
5.
you pick. There's no good choices.
There's no good
This
choices.
is fine. This is fine. Marrying Superman. I love Superman. Big Superman fan.
Wait, was it Henry Cavill that was Superman in that
Yes.
one? I've seen it once and I don't remember very well.
It's a great movie. I will
All
fight
right,
everyone that
all
says
right.
that, but I know that's not the common opinion. Fucking Aquaman so I can play this hair. I'm killing Flash because it's not my Barry Allen. I didn't find him very charming. I found him pretty annoying. It's got to go. It's really hard not to pick a Wonder Woman in all of these slots. I think it's better we just leave her out. Brian, what you got?
All right. Brian's probably going to say differently on that, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm marrying Batman, he's rich. What's the one the one line everyone remembers from the movie? What's your superpower? I'm rich. So come on.
That
you're
is
stuck
such
with them.
sound logic.
Plus, like, everybody Batman gets with dies, so there's a good chance I don't have to worry about it anymore, you know?
But if you get a knee brace for him.
Everyone
Wrong
that
Batman.
Batman gets with dies. That includes
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, there's worse
Die
things.
rich.
All right.
There's
Get rich
worse
or die
things.
trying.
All right.
That's right.
Fitty.
So, fucking Wonder Woman. Easy on the eyes. Just a man with simple needs. Killing. Yeah, the Flash. I really did not like that Flash character in that movie at all. But as a tiebreaker, I mean, just to change it up, I could go Aquaman because I do not care for the Justice League Aquaman at all. I don't like me some Aquabro. I thought he was a lot better in the actual Aquaman solo movie. So that's a tough one, but I have to kill the Flash.
All right. Okay. Is it my turn?
It is.
All right. We marrying Cyborg.
Oh,
He's the man with most heart.
plus he's mysterious because they cut half of his shit out of the movie.
That's
You don't think about
absolutely
it.
true. You know?
So, yeah, I don't think bad to say about Cyborg. I thought the guy did a good job.
And you know what? He's got a lot of versatility.
Yep.
He's the Wii of the Justice League.
He's the Wii of the
He's
Justice
the Wii slash
League.
Mecha Godzilla.
We're gonna continue that one along. Obviously, we fucking Wonder Woman because she got the lasso. That's all I need.
But I mean, what if like you in the middle of stuff and it's like you having a good time? It's like no, and you can't lie about it. Like done. Lasso of truth. Bro.
I mean, it might turn into
Always
my favor.
fight.
I'm actually terrified. Get me out of
It
here.
might turn into my favor. I don't
Maybe.
know.
It's 50-50.
I don't know.
I don't
And
know if
then-
it's Wonder Woman from '84. You don't have a choice anyway. So
Right.
she's doing it.
Stick you in someone else's body and go. Great movie.
Specifically this one.
We're
Specifically
sticking to
this
Justice
one.
League, yep.
And then I'm killing Batman because I
Ooh.
absolutely hate this iteration of Batman. Can't stand him. Can't stand him as Bruce Wayne. Can't stand him as Batman. Go away. Get out of here.
I will say, out
Bye.
of the Snyder movies, I think they did the best job with him in Justice League
I
because
don't.
he sucked in BVS, dude.
It
Ugh.
looked cool.
Yeah, he looks awesome. And Affleck, I'm committed to the role and getting buff. But
It's a good thing going forward. There's not going to be any confusion or just train wreckness to DC's movies going forward at all. It's really breath of fresh air. I'm sure the
And-
Flashpoint won't screw anything up.
And just the Justice League the Justice League Superman is just so fucking bland. So boring. Bland, boring. Meh.
He's got the digitized stash,
Meh.
the tickler.
Man of Steel.
Wrong movie.
Justice League, that's where it's Justice League with that edited out. His mustache.
It was Justice League,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Yep.
Where he had the lip.
I thought that was Batman vs Superman.
Justice League.
Well, see, I've seen these all but one time, so
I mean, they're super
They're
memorable.
they're not good.
Yeah, they're super memorable.
They're not good.
Fantastic films.
Yeah, they're bad.
Better than anything you've ever seen. I'm not flaming over here, I promise. That was a great selection, Barry. Thanks for that.
Narrowing it down.
Absolutely.
Really helps. Yeah.
Absolutely. Throwing you the curveballs.
I had one easy one. It's like Wonder Woman. The other ones.
Bland, boring.
But she got
Okay.
a whip.
Yeah.
She can tie me up. Argue with that.
Aquaman's hair can do the same thing.
What? No, it can't.